What's going on YouTube? It's Primitive here, bringing you round 3 of the RMC local that happened yesterday on Friday the 3rd. This will be against myself on the left playing LordKnightmon versus my good friend John playing John Security Control. And the only way to describe that is by you're just going to have to watch and see some of the cards that get played. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with a TK and play the Cutemon. John's going to go ahead and respond with the Tamer of his own and Matt and Ty, and then Holy Wave putting me at 6, so I just go ahead and Turi to cycle and then put my opponent at 2 with the LordKnightmon hard play. We do see that, or we have the Knightmon, and then we have the LordKnightmon in hand. We get Gaia Force, we go to 8, but with that I feel semi-comfortable that I can just go ahead and go up to Mega if I do choose. Do go ahead and drop the promo Patamon there because I figure that it's probably going to be semi-useless in this matchup for at least a pretty good amount of turns. My opponent's just checking out the regional event Omnimon there and the Knightmon. And, well, I guess the Omnimon isn't technically a regional promo, it's just the event pack, but my opponent hasn't seen it before. So I'm just going to hard play the Angelmon and put my opponent at 1. And I'm just going to get Gaia Forced again and go to 7, so none of that was really working too well for me, but I do promote the Omnimon. I do play TK, so that way I can try and find an ultimate is what I think I'm looking for. But if I do believe, yeah, I do grab Pulsemon out of here because I don't find the ultimate. I was considering there's a Bushi in there that I wanted to grab, but I decided to grab the Pulsemon so I could cycle and then play the Torimon so I can cycle some more. Still looking for an ultimate so I can get up into that LordKnightmon. I did hard play my ultimates to play around Ultimate Flare, but as you saw, they did get Gaia Force back to back. So my opponent's going to Magna Angemon, go up to 7 security. So I do have a bit of a hill to climb. But knowing my opponent's deck, I do know that I have a decent amount of time to get through the security, especially if I play around cards like Ultimate Flare, which this board itself is decently good against Ultimate Flare, but not the best. I don't have the best memory options here, so I do just decide to play Starmon so my opponent can have the least amount of memory as possible. But they do play another Magna Angemon. I'm going to go ahead and I believe I swing in with Starmon after I Spiral to clear the board. So Spiral clears the 2 boards. Starmon's going to hit Pulsemon and die. So I do get 1 checkout. I'm not too upset about Starmon going away. I got pretty much maximum value out of the... Well, I guess not maximum value, but I got pretty high value out of the Spiral and the Starmon itself. So feeling okay about it. My opponent's going to play Agumon Expert, who was recommended to put in by myself and my buddy Justin. Gonna go ahead and Digivolve into LordKnightmon, go ahead and swing in. I do play Lucemon here, who is a great card in this matchup. And as you see, my opponent does have Hexablow in the list, but I am stronger. Pulsemon into Pulsemon. And yes, my opponent has that's why I call it John Control, just because it does have a lot of very different cards, and I'm not gonna say it's bad because John decks are some of the most annoying decks I've played against, because one, you don't know what's happening, you don't know what to expect, but they also just have really weird, crazy synergies. But he does have Hexablows in here. 2 Hexablows, I do believe, are in this list. As you saw, there was the 1 there. So he's going to swing Pulsemon to draw off of his Inheritable. Die off of the Slash. And as you see, he also has the Pulsemon in Security Control, which is, again, interesting. I dropped my LordKnightmon, so my opponent knows it's there. But I think he jokingly said something like, "Oh, you have a Knightmon in hand? How surprising." So my opponent plays the Omnimon thinking he can Blitz, but that's just when Digivolving. But it's all good, and so yes, he does have the Omnimons in here with the Matt and Ty. It's actually kind of sick from what I've seen in the other games. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the opportunity to really use it in this matchup. I'm going to drop Knightmon. Now has 2 Matt and Ties on the board, and 3 ties in total. The board's starting to get a little bit cluttered, but I'm keeping management control of this Omnimon's DP, but I do end up just dropping it and I go down to 1. Play another TK, so my opponent will go to 3 and then 5 and 7 from the Matt and Ties. So now I can go ahead and grab that Bushi out of there that I was talking about earlier when I did one of the previous TKs. Try to clear up the board, or clean up the board a little bit there, so a little more sense of what's on the board. I wish the playmats were a little bit bigger. That would be nice. We're gonna see a third Matt and Ty into a Magnadramon. Recovering 2. I believe my opponent's at 5 security now. It's hard to see with the black sleeves, but I do believe my opponent's at 5 security. So we're going to go and swing, activate effect to unstand, giving -6 to the Magnadramon. Hexablow, I'm going to hit the second Hexablow, which will take out my Wargrave, which is unfortunate. The Valdararm will hit the X Antibody in security, which will gain me 3 memory, which is alright. I'm going to get hit with the Ultimate Flare, and he's going to bully my regional, or my event pack, Omnimon over the other Omnimon. It's pretty savage. Gonna play Bushi, and we're gonna swing with Uni, go to 1, or with Pedo, and then we'll swing with Uni, and that'll go ahead and get game 1. So we'll go ahead and go into game 2, and we had a little laugh there because that when I swung the Valdararm into his X Antibody, I just traded him that card right before the event started, so we were just laughing about how my card kind of did me dirty by taking out my Valdararm there. But my opponent's going to go ahead and start off going into the Pulsemon onto the Cupimon, and then just playing Izzy, not hitting 3 blacks, so we're just going to be at 4 memory here. I'm going to play Kotemon. I think I whiff. Yep. So whiff on the Kotemon, which is okay, but we know that our LordKnightmons are going to be closer to us now, so it's okay. So we're going to Omnimon. Opponent will go to 3 with the Izzy. Bring out Pulsemon. See if he swings to get it. No, he's just going to hard play Hexablow and put me at 9. Which right here I was like, okay, well, that's semi-annoying, but I think the War Growl in my hand, I feel like should come in handy. I don't remember if I had the Slash or not. We're going to Digiburst. I believe we popped the Pulsemon here. I was thinking about it with my hand. I had a couple plays. I wanted to figure out what would be the most optimal. I decided to pop the Pulsemon and then go into Lord Knight so I can swing and play a Knightmon, putting that down to 7. Security check for 13, hitting the Hexablow. So 1 Hexablow down, the second Hexablow is on the field. I do have Valdararm in hand, and I do believe I decide to just take out the 2 Hexablows this turn. Yep, so I'm going to go ahead and Valdararm, put my opponent at 4. Both the Hexablows are out, so that's not a card that I'm going to have to worry about for the rest of the game because my opponent, like I said, is a good friend of mine, so he did show me his list and reveal some of his counts to me, so I did know that there was 2 Hexablows. And that's one of the things that, it's not super bad versus this deck, but since versus Security Control, I really prefer to hard play a lot of my ultimates and other various cards. Hexablow can be pretty annoying, so with those gone, it's good. It's going to Volcanic Dramon. It's not going to hit any effects, but it is going to put that on the board, which will then threaten the potential Omnimon that we know is the Blitz Omnimon that we know it's in there. We're going to swing Valdararm. We're going to hit the Agumon Expert. And we're going to swing Knightmon. We're going to dive, and then we're going to play Bushi, go to 5. We're going to play second Bushi, go to 5, and then we're going to swing with Pedo's game. So yeah, so I had the 2 Bushis in hand, and my opponent putting us at 10 there just allowed me to double Bushi. But that is going to go be the match. I will take that 2-0 against John's Security Control. But with that being said, I will see you next round for the 4th and final round. Have a great day.